rights activist. He brings a conservative point of view to black issues. His mission: to provide a forum for honest discussions about social issues without the liberal lapdogs shutting down the discussion. Broadcasting from the American Truth Project studios in beautiful Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. This is Conservative Nation with your host, JERMAIN BOTSIO.
You told me hold on, give me his... Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Conservative Nation. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? How you doing? How you doing, Mr. Allen?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm telling you, this week has been just the greatest week for conservatives. We have seen the complete dismantling and the complete incompetence of Joe Biden and his administration. They have lost a war, okay? They have these crazy COVID-19 mandates. These guys are coming unglued at the seams, JERMAIN BOTSIO, and we're going to talk about it, brother.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. I need your help. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I need your help. Please hit that like button. Make sure you share. We had a lot of technical issues that is going on here. So make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share, all right? I need your help. Make sure. Yup. All right. Here we go. First one up here, brother. I want to go ahead and speak about a TikTok video. This TikTok video deals with a young woman here. All right. And I want people to take a look at her. Young woman, 20, apparently she says she's 26 years old. Claims she's pregnant, 14 weeks. She has a question that went viral, and I want folks to hear this. Here we go. Make sure you guys share.
Okay, so as you guys know, I'm pregnant, 14 weeks now. So I'm not with the child's father, you know. I mean, that's like a whole nother story. We'll get to that. But is it okay to date while pregnant? Like, I just want to know, like, men and women, like, what's y'all take on this? Like, because, I mean, there's some wannabe stepdaddies out there, but do y'all feel like it's weird? Because I kind of feel like it was weird at first. I haven't started dating yet, but I feel like it was weird at first. Like, I got a belly. You looking at me like that? Like, what does that mean? So tell me, is it okay for me too?
Anthony Allen. I don't know what's going on with her, but I know when I see crazy. What do you think about this? You first. I got to keep my composure right now.
You know what? This is what we call DWP, dating while black, okay? I mean, dating while pregnant. And I would not date her. She's looking for a sugar daddy, and she doesn't have any concern for the baby at all. All she wants is someone to get inside her pants, I guess. She's a narcissist, and she's soliciting herself. She's saying that, you know what, I'm pregnant, but you can still get a hold of this if you want to. What should happen? These guys should be looking over their shoulder, and if they want to go ahead and hit it, they should quit it, and then they should escape to Zanzibar or somewhere, because this woman, she is a trap, and she's looking to trap someone, and she's soliciting herself, and guess what? She's a hoe.
Absolutely. 14 weeks. Anthony Allen, can't she wait?
No, she can't.
I mean, my goodness gracious, ladies and gentlemen. 14 weeks. This is the new generation. When we call baby after baby, these young girls are getting pregnant, these young ladies. And before the baby is even born, remember I told you this, ladies and gentlemen, the boyfriend's already gone.
Yeah.
And they got a new boyfriend that is there. And that's not what, things need to go. We don't need to do stuff like this. We need to start pointing out the nonsense. And the thing is, Anthony Allen, she's going to run to the government right now. She's already in the works of running to the government. I want folks to understand that. Already in the works. She doesn't want to work it out with the guy, and she's ready to get another guy on the hook. And what these young guys don't know is that when you date a lot of these single moms who are like this and you assume the responsibility of the father, you can be held liable for child support as well if you decide to leave. And it's happened all across this nation. So men, you have to be very wary about this. The women aren't going to tell you, hey, you know what? You could get hit with child support if you date me. I'm a dangerous woman. She ain't going to tell you this. You know what I'm saying? It's dangerous. Anthony, our last words here, sir.
Yeah, DWP, dating while pregnant, and she is a trap. She's a danger. She can really bring down some, guy. Maybe some guy feels sorry for her, but she's looking for a supplemental income and a supplemental boyfriend. That's all she's looking for. And like you said, these guys that go after this, they maybe think she's an easy target because she's pregnant, and they can be held liable. When they go to court, the judge will say, well, you've been with her all this time. That's all the baby knows is you. And guess what? You will be paying child support for someone else. And I bet you that someone else probably wants that scenario where he can go in and hit it and quit it and then have someone else pay the child support for him.
There you go.
But she will be back at the baby's daddy. She will be back there. So, hey, guys, leave it alone. Run to Zanzibar. Don't look back.
Absolutely. And the thing is, guys out there, you have to understand a lot of the stuff that is going on with these guys, the single baby mamas that raise these guys here, and I want the folks to understand, you know what they do? They love these type of women. I want you to understand they love them with a passion because it resembles their mama. Do you understand? Yeah, they date basically their mama. And one of the things that happens a lot in these scenarios, Anthony Allen, is that the guys that come there, right, they go after these single mamas because they believe they're easy game. You know what I'm talking about, right? They're easy game because most of them are depressed. There's stuff going on in their life that they don't like, and they're dealing with these type of individuals. And a lot of the times, they settle for what they can get, and these guys know it. So they go ahead and attack them and, in my eyes, screw up a lot of their lives to the point where, they become that, crazy baby mama. You know what I'm saying? Last words on this here, sir, before we move on.
Yeah, this is a crazy baby mama here, and she's out to wreak havoc in some unsuspecting man's life. Hopefully that people will just run away from this. But in the Black community, you're exactly right. These guys, they want someone that resembles their mother. And you can tell how she's pripping her hair. She wants to sound sexy and sensuous. And you know what? It is a trap. And any guy that falls into that trap will never survive that trap. Never.
Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, you gotta wake up. You got to wake up. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share, all right? I need your help. I need your help. Moving forward here, brother. And let me go ahead and put this down here. Moving forward, I want to go ahead and let me push this up here. I want to speak about a wrestler, patriotic wrestler that is making a lot of waves right now. She's a first-generation immigrant from Ghana, West Africa. She won the gold in wrestling. Beautiful story. I need you to hear this. When it comes back, I want to get your take on this. There's a lot of people who hate this country. And let me tell you, when you find folks who actually have a love for the country, it's absolutely beautiful. Here we go.
Olympic gold medal winner Tamara Mensah inspired the country with victory in Tokyo. That's right, gold medal victory, and then inspired millions in her moving press conference where she talked about her deep love for this country and the country's greatness and the glory of God. And get this, she's celebrating. I, by the way, never knew that if you win a gold medal, you also win $37,500. And she's taking all of her winnings to fulfill the dream of her mom and getting her a food truck. Gold medal winner, Tamara Mensah. Did I say it right? I messed up your name before in the tease. I apologize. Thank you for being with us. You become my hero at the Olympics. You were the shining light for this country at the Olympics. Thank you so much for all you did.
You are very welcome. You said it a little wrong. It's Tamara, but it's okay. It's fine.
Thank you. Well, thank you for being here. So, you said a lot of things here. And, when you were talking about, and I'm not dragging you into my horrible world of politics, I promise. It's more about your life and the passion that you spoke about how great this country is. Tell me just more about where that comes from.
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. Like, my mom raised us to be respectful, and my dad was an immigrant, and he came from Ghana. He came to America, and he made a way for himself. Like, he had a whole bunch of businesses, and like he made nothing out of something, or he made something out of nothing. And I just know that if you go out and get what you want, nothing can stop you. So I guess, like, just from those kind of parents in my life, I just have love for my country.
So the amount of work that goes into be a champion athlete, you said the hardest thing you ever did in your life, and you win Olympic gold, and I don't know, I mean, to see you so happy, it was infectious happiness for so many other people, and I've been talking about it a lot. And you had promised your mom. Tell me about the promise to your mom for the food truck. And I'm dying to know what kind of food your mom makes, because I want to go to her truck when you buy it and be a customer.
So, giving all glory to God, I greatly appreciate that I'm even able to be in the position to provide my mom the food truck of her dreams. But little surprise, there was actually something that came out that surprised her on a different station. Somebody is actually buying my mom a food truck and making it from scratch. So she is about to be getting a hefty sum for her food truck, and it's going to be the food truck of her dreams, and it's going to be called P. Lickle's, what does she want? It's called P. Lickle's Finest, and she's going to be making African food. She wants to bake sweets, and she's going to be making barbecue. And I think she wants to base it out of San Antonio, but I'm not entirely sure. But
well, wait a minute, wait. My favorite barbecue is ribs. Does she make ribs and chicken? That's my favorite, personal favorite. I have my own little.
She does. She definitely does.
Master-built electric smoker in my backyard. I love it. I use it all the time, but I'm sure it's not as good. So now she's had a little business at home, you mentioned in one interview, and now she'll have the truck, and she'll be able to you know, provide this food and this great food for so many people. Do you know the location of it yet?
You said the rotation? What do you mean by that?
The location of where the truck is going to be?
Oh, the location. Oh, so right now it's going to be being made in San Antonio, Texas, and
Right.
she loves cooking in Houston because she has her little hot spots that she loved going to when she had her pit on wheels. So I'm pretty sure she's going to be going to Houston, Texas, but she might go to San Antonio too. I don't know what she wants to do. She might want to travel all over the country. Who knows? Like, she's been provided with the food truck of her dreams, so she can literally go wherever and do whatever. And I'm extremely excited for her.
Well, if you make a map, I'll put it up on my website and social media sites and let everybody know where and when she's going to be. I happen to have family there, and I'm finding as soon as it opens, I'm going to be down there and be online and you know, waiting for it. I heard you're going to try one more time. You're going to go for 2024.
I am. I'm actually going to be going to World Championships in 3 months in Oslo. So, yeah, I'm just going to be trying to increase that legacy, because why not? God's given me this gift, so I'm going to see how far it can take me.
Yeah, it's amazing. Your incredible work ethic, your love, your passion is infectious. Your story is amazing. You know, what you did for your family is beyond inspiring. And you know what? It's a very contentious world we live in. And a story like this lifts everybody up. And I can't thank you enough for that. And thank you for being on the program.
Thank you for having me. I just want to spread love and joy.
We could use a little more of that right now. Thank you so much, and I'm going to be following your career closely. I'm big into the octagon, mixed martial arts, and wrestling. So
and I'm going to stop it right here. So, Anthony Allen.
Yes.
My goodness gracious, Tamara Mensah Stark, beautiful woman, Ghanaian, first generation immigrant. You can look at her eyes. She doesn't know a lick of racism. What do you think here, sir?
I tell you what, this is a beautiful, beautiful woman. And you know, the first thing that I noticed about her beauty is that she talked about father and family. Okay. That was very, very important aspect that I really saw coming out of her. Her father was very, very important in her life. And it was her father, she said, that made something of himself. So she's proud of the fact that her dad worked very, very hard. In other words, she said that her dad had a whole lot of businesses. And when she said that, Jermaine BOTSIO, it reminded me of how you talk about your father, someone that was very, very influential in your life, someone that had lots of businesses. He kept that business aspect going. She talked about the respect that was in the family. And you know what she also mentioned that I kind of got out of what she was saying? It was her parents, her mother and her father, that gave her the love for America, a love for her country. This is her country. She's not pretending as if she was like she's from Ghana. She was born in America. She is an American. Her mother and father are different, of course. But, you know, she's not claiming that she's from Africa. She's not wearing a dashiki. America is her country, and she is infectiously happy. And it is so good to see a smiling, positive, happy woman that happens to be black. Now, one more point. She is what Democrats and liberals hate. Democrats hate blacks that love America. Democrats and liberals, they hate blacks that are happy, that come from a mother and father family. And Democrats and liberals, they hate blacks that praise God. And this woman has no problem. I've seen her interview before, and she has no problem in talking about God. She has no problem. And that's the problem that Democrats despise about black people, when they love God and they let that be known, how they feel about God on public television across the world. She's a great, beautiful woman, Jermaine BOTSIO.
Absolutely. You know, one thing that sets her apart is that she comes from a very good family.
Yes.
And that's something that the liberals never speak about. You know, when they speak about family, liberals speak about mama and bastard children.
Mm-hmm.
They love doing that. They love mama children, right? Mama children, mama children, daddy children, but never mama, daddy, and children. The traditional family, they don't like that at all. Not at all. And that's a problem. Now, one of the things here, Anthony Allen, is that her father was an immigrant.
Mm-hmm.
You heard that he came here and had businesses. You heard that, Anthony Allen, right?
Yeah.
You white folks out there, you better listen up. When Negroes say it's so hard, hold on, it's so hard. Here in America, they trying to finesse you. All right? Immigrant, not even from the U.S., come here. He started his own business. Was able to raise his children here in America, right? The American dream. And I would say it's American dream. Look at his family. His daughter was able to go to the Olympics and win the gold. And it all boils down to values and morals. It really does, because she was raised on the morals of respect, hard work. You heard her say the hard work, right? The notion and the thought process and the belief structure that you can do anything, right? It wasn't that limiting belief structure where you're telling your children, hey, you know what? You can't do it because there's some white man on a hill somewhere. You get what I'm saying? Some white man on a hill eating cheeseburgers determining your fate. They didn't say that. She said that she can do anything. And one thing I can attest to when it comes to West African parents, they don't run around and speak about racism. They don't do it like the black American parents do. They don't. They don't put that evil thought process in their children's brain. That's why when they come here, when they are born here, they excel almost 7 times fold over the American black that was born in this country. And it has everything to do, ladies and gentlemen, with family, belief in God. They're Christians, ladies and gentlemen. They love Jesus. And the love of doing what is right. Last words here, sir.
Yeah, last words. Like that was great, because it is that mindset, and that mindset was put in her by her mother and father. They didn't talk about racism. They didn't talk about failure. And the other thing too, you know what? Her mother isn't looking for a house. Her mother isn't looking for a fancy car. Her mother wants a truck so she can work. Imagine that. Here she is with all this money, and her mother says, oh, I just want a truck so I could go and work. That is unheard of in American black families. They want some Air Jordans. They want a fancy house. They want some gold on their neck. But she wants to continue working. What a beautiful, beautiful family that we have here, Jermaine BOTSIO.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to go ahead and give a special shout out to my girl, Debbie Augustin, her and Steven. Let me go ahead and give you guys a shout out. Very, very beautiful. Shout out to you. Absolutely. And I want to go ahead and give a shout out to my girl, Teresa Capone. And she said, $5 challenge for my internet husband. Shout out to you.
Great.
Shout out to Teresa Capone. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. I'm sweating, and I do got the AC on. I'm going to let everybody know that AC blowing, but a brother hot. I'm flaming, baby. Make sure you share. All right? Absolutely. Shout out to Joy Ron says those from Ghana, GH, are business-minded. You know it. They are more women in percentage of Ghanaians, women who own their own business, very high compared to any other country. You're absolutely correct. Yep. In Ghana, you can't eat, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have a trade that you know yourself. Do you understand? It's not like here where you can go to Walmart, you can go to Taco Bell, right? You can find some other business to hire you. I want folks to understand most of the businesses aren't ran by corporations. They're family owned. So if you go and say, hey, can I work at this restaurant? They'll tell you to hit the door. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to create your own business. It's like back in the day. It's beautiful. You'll create your own business, right? Your God-given talent is going to shine. You get what I'm saying, Anthony Allen?
Absolutely.
Instead of sitting in America and playing video games, right? Wasting your God-given talent. In Ghana, West Africa, the Africans ain't got the video games to play, but they got the mind, the ambition to create a business so that they can provide for their family. That's their video game.
There you
so
go.
They find their God-given talent, right? This is the main reason why welfare is not a good idea for a lot of folks. Right? It's a good concept. It works in certain situations, but in all situations, it's not good because it hinders people from finding their God-given talent. Do you understand? And I want folks to understand that. So when you go to Ghana, if you know a Ghanaian, more than likely he has his own business doing something. I want folks to understand doing something, and I wish America was like that, where the children and people were business-minded, right? Instead of trying to throw money every which way and then complaining and then try to grab money from the government. In Ghana, you can't run to the government. So people are a lot smarter when it comes to money, right? A lot smarter when it comes to finances. A lot of stuff we are missing in this country because of our culture. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys do me a favor. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. Help a brother out. I need your help. I need your help, baby. I certainly do. Next one up here, brother, I want to speak about the eviction moratoriums. Let me tell you something. A lot of landlords across this nation are hurting. Right? The renters aren't hurting. They're chilling, eating Cheetos. Some of them are looking for work. Some aren't. But one thing I can tell you, the people who owe the banks, they sweating like me right now, Anthony Allen. You see these big ass sweat droplets? They sweating. Let me tell you. Let me go ahead and run this story here of a New York landlord. All right. She is in $50,000 worth of debt right now. She don't see any part of the government coming to help. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a nightmare. Let me go ahead and run it. When it come back, I want to get your take on it. Here we go.
The extension of the eviction ban left one New York landlord $50,000 in the hole. Her tenant, who is employed, hasn't paid rent since March of 2020, and he refuses to leave. The landlord is Susan Antolini, and she joins me now. All right, Susan, let's get straight at it. Do you think you'll ever... Suzanne, I'm sorry, Suzanne. Do you think you'll ever get your money back?
Well, that's the problem. We've contacted an attorney who said this is going to be an uphill battle. So the answer actually is no. I'm not really sure if we'll ever see all of it.
You'll have to go to court eventually to get this person out. But what's the status of the courts at the moment? I understand they're pretty backlogged.
Completely backlogged. We heard from our attorney that they are giving out court dates in March of 2022 for cases that are just being presented now. So they are extremely backlogged.
What's your options?
We're out of options. That's the problem. That's why I'm here and speaking about it, we have exhausted all options at this point. We have no programs that we can ask for any money. Like I said yesterday, the program that is in place right now has to be initiated by the tenant because we know he's gainfully employed and has been this entire time. If he were to do that, he would be admitting to fraud. So we have no alternative at this point but to wait for the moratorium to be lifted. And the problem is it keeps being extended.
Now, just a few moments ago, we put on the air a picture of a house. Was that your house? I think it was. So is that your house?
I didn't see the picture, but I
yes, it is your house. I'm sorry. Our producers say,
okay.
Yeah, we got the picture. That's your house. Now, is that tenant living in that house with you?
The tenant is living currently in that house right now.
Oh, crazy.
That is a home that's been in my family for 50 years. I'm one of 4 owners. 2 of the owners are elderly and on fixed income, and we are required to continue to pay our taxes and the insurance on the home. I called and spoke to the treasurer in Nassau County, who told me that there are no programs available for landlords for extensions on paying those taxes, and it's causing a problem. And we definitely did not want to be in this situation. We tried to work with the tenant. We had no intention of putting anybody out on the street, but to find out that he's gaming the system and has been working and is just choosing not to pay us, that puts us on the defensive and we have nowhere to turn. So I would love for, one of the sections of maybe the moratorium should be people like ourselves who know that our tenant is capable of paying and is choosing not to. Where do we go? Who do we speak to? We can't get in front of a judge.
Nobody's looking out for a landlord. You're unpopular. They'll
No.
never look out for you. You'll never get any sympathy.
No.
That's
Nope.
the way it is. And
You
that
ain't
is a
gonna get
disgrace.
any sympathy.
Suzanne, I thank you very much for coming on the show.
That's why you guard your finances like you're going to war. My goodness gracious, Anthony Allen, talk about bizarro world. The administration set this up, ladies and gentlemen, for a very dangerous purpose. Anthony Allen, I believe they're trying to wipe out and become the biggest landlord of the land. You get what I'm saying? I believe the government trying to be the biggest landlord of the land, because the longer they keep this moratorium up, the longer these landlords will be in debt, right? And some of them going to hit bankruptcy. Some of them will be crying. And you know who got the answer, Anthony Allen?
Mm-hmm.
Daddy government.
government.
And I can foresee a situation happening where they say it's a crisis, right? And then they'll say, well, we'll help you out. We'll pay you to keep these tenants in here, right? For maybe a percentage of your property, or maybe we take over the loan so that, it doesn't, impact your credit. Maybe we do that and we pay you to be a landlord.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about this, Anthony Allen? It looked like it's destruction of middle America.
That is exactly what's taking place. This is Bizarro World. And for our audience, that's a reference to a planet in the Superman series where everything is opposite of what it is supposed to be. So yeah, this is Bizarro World. It's backwards, it's upside down, and Bizarro World is Biden's world. So these landlords, yep, they're getting screwed. And these tenants, of course, they're able to skate and get away with not paying the rent because of this moratorium. So there are companies now, and they're snapping up and they're buying up these landlords that cannot, hold this note because they are just in so much debt now. But yeah, it will become a crisis, and the government wants to buy up these landlords' properties, and the government becomes the biggest, holder of private property, landlords, and the government becomes a landlord, and they will make a big mess of things. There will be a used housing crisis,
Yep.
and that is exactly what they want, Jermaine BOTSIO. They don't want landlords to own their own property, to own their own businesses. They want to wipe out this middle class area, and they want these tenants to be dependent upon the government. The government will buy these houses up, snap them up, and guess who will benefit from it? The government will, the tenants will, but they will destroy the housing sector, and that's what this is about. The same way they destroyed the healthcare sector, now they're working on destroying the housing sector.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can't get around this. You just can't get around it. They are trying to destroy the middle class here in America, and they're trying to destroy the prosperity. Anthony Allen, the only way I see this being fixed is if the landlords start doing some sort of class action suit or something. You get what I'm saying? I don't understand why they're sitting here and well, I'm a landlord. I can tell you why. Because in a sense, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing. Maybe you can speak to your congressman, your senator, see if they can get some bill on the docket. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, it's a very, very tight haul. Now, Anthony Allen, the folks that are getting paid who are landlords are the ones who accept what we call Section 8. You know those fools, right? Yeah. So if you're on Section 8, the government already paying your rent, right? And the government going to pay on time. That's why, there's a lot of landlords, we call them slumlords, they love Section 8. They buy a property. They know that Section 8 tenants are going to make it go to hell. They don't even do nothing with the property, Anthony Allen. I know cats that buy properties, Anthony Allen, and don't do nothing. Look at my work. Don't do nothing. Nothing. And they throw a Section 8 tenant up in there after it gets passed through the inspection. Throw it right up in there. Don't do nothing. And I'm telling folks, you have to work for the things you have in your life, because if you don't, let me tell you something, you're not going to have a very good quality of life. You're just not. Last words on this here, sir.
That's exactly right. I had forgotten about the Section 8 angle on this thing. I'm glad you brought it up. But yeah, the government wants to be the biggest holder of Section 8 properties, and they can choose winners and losers. They can, hand out their properties to Section 8 like they're playing cards, and that's all this is about. The Section 8 slumlords, they will be able to maintain their property because the government will pay.
There you go.
The regular people that have the high value property, the government wants that, and if the government gets those properties, the government will slum them down to the ghetto level and put in Section 8 people in these houses. The house that we saw that she owned is a very, very nice, beautiful home.
Yep.
The government wants to turn that house into Section 8.
You know it. And that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to come to you with a deal. Hey, we'll get you out of this financial mess you're in, right? And guess what? We'll allow you to have a little bit of ownership in this property. But we're gonna pay you the rent. You just gonna take it. And let me tell you something. They will do it. They will do it. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's a crazy world right now. A lot of the new rental properties that are going up, Anthony Allen, a lot of these folks are requiring Section 8, and they're foreseeing it. Trust me. People who invest, a lot of them are very smart. They look ahead, ladies and gentlemen. They look ahead. And if you're into bricks and mortar and you're looking ahead and you look at this pandemic, you see folks getting in and out of work, right? You see most of the workforce out of work. You see that the government is shelling out cash, right? kidnapped. Cash. You're thinking to yourself, you know what? If I buy a property, I'm going to want guaranteed money. You get what I'm saying? I can't depend on your job, right? Anthony, you get what I'm saying? I can't depend on your job. Shoot, with all this COVID going around,
right?
Yeah, they could lay you off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want that Section 8 money, that Section 8 bread. Let me tell you, and most of these landlords will do it. You will see a crop of these new developments. They'll look like townhomes, right? Row homes. All Section 8. Mark my words. They're doing it here in Minneapolis. And they know what they're doing because they know in the future the government going to be shelling out the cashola, because most folks are sitting on their behind, right, collecting the money, not working. Craziness. Let's go ahead and move forward. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys hit that like button. I need your help. I need your help. I want to go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, and give somebody a shout out. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Bennett Cunningham. Bennett Cunningham donated, says, I took the $20 challenge. Shout out to Bennett Cunningham. Absolutely. Shout out to Bennett Cunningham. Shout out to you, brother. Absolutely. Moving forward here, brother, I want to go ahead and speak about Mike Lindell. Yeah, I want to speak about Mr. Lindell. I spoke about him on Friday. I got some nasty hate messages. Anthony, some nasty hate messages. They didn't like the information I put out. They didn't like it at all. And I retorted back, hey, how come the other people ain't speaking about Mike Lindell? You know, all the people who took the pillow money? I didn't take the pillow money. So I can talk freely. You know, I'm just putting out the objectable truth, right? I stand back. And I want people to see this. Now, Anthony Allen, there's a viral video going out right now. And it's about this symposium. And a man asked a question to one of these cyber experts. And it wasn't a very good answer that came from the question. Now, this question had to deal with packets and information. Now, in this cyber symposium, a lot of stuff happened, and we may get into it. If you've seen what the show on Friday, then you know everything that happened. But in this section here, the cyber experts were asked about the packets, and the packets being the big deal in this cyber symposium, because it's supposed to be, quote unquote, the absolute proof, the irrefutable proof is what they're saying. And when this man asked about the packets, the cyber team said they never seen it. And it was such a shocker that it stunned most folks. Let me go ahead and run this when it come back. I want to get you guys' take on this here. There was a lot of good information that he put out there that I believe that needs to be looked into, and there's some information here that is quite questionable. Let me go ahead and run it. Here we go.
Access to the data packets that Mike Lindell is reporting on that were given to him.
We don't have access to that. We just built this system here, and we capture our own packets.
But we had a race in Kansas that was probably flipped by the data packets from China. And how can I get copies of those data packets and which servers they went into in our county where this congressional race was probably flipped?
Okay. I have not seen it, so I don't know.
Supposedly, the Department of Homeland Security's CISA has installed what are called Albert sensors at lots of places to monitor. They're called Albert sensors. So supposedly, DHS has got access to traffic in and out of the networks that might be connected to our voting and voter registration systems. But I haven't heard a peep out of DHS about it. So either they don't have the data or they're not willing to tell us about the data. I don't know what we have them for if they're not going to serve us, other than, I guess, to tell us how secure everything is.
Yeah, but Mike Lindell says that it was all given to him, so why doesn't he give it to us?
I can't speak to that. That'd be something you ask Mike. But the Albert sensors is actually a really good point that you brought up, and I don't know if anyone understands what Albert sensors are, but DHS apparently, from what we've read, put these sensors in each voting center across the country, or many voting centers across the country.
And I'm going to stop it right here. So Anthony Allen, we got we got the cyber experts saying they ain't seen the packets. That's a question you got to go ask Lindell. This is what he's saying. Now, besides that, now I want to go ahead and show the crowd this here, because this is the biggest blunder I've seen, and I believe Mike Lindell was set up. Let me go ahead and transition. Cyber experts say his team can't prove Mike Lindell's claim that China hacked election. All right. Now, there was a guy by the name of Josh Merritt, and Josh Merritt ran with the quickness. I don't know if he had the DNC shoes on, but he ran with the quickness to go tell the media that Mike Lindell ain't got nothing. And if he known he didn't have nothing, how come he didn't say this in the beginning? Anthony Allen, first of all, let's get your take on the cyber symposium. And then what do you think about these things here that are developing?
Yeah, I watched part of the cyber symposium. I watched up to the point where he was disconnected for some reason, and so I couldn't get back to it. But I do understand what they're trying to talk about. A packet is that bit of information from a server that contains IP address, it contains source and destination computer, it probably contains the MAC address, so you know exactly which machine things came from. So it is a very, very important bit of information. And so Mike Lindell claimed that he had 37 terabytes of this data. Now, a terabyte, 1 terabyte is 1 million, okay? It's 10 to the 12th power. You have a million of something and a million of those somethings that you have. In bytes, that would be 2 to the 40th power. Yep. So that number is like uncountable. Nobody counts that high. But you have that much data that he claimed to have. That's a lot of information. Okay, now I'd like to say that I really do think China is hacking. I know that from my own personal experience that China is hacking into systems all over this nation.
Absolutely, and Yahweh and them.
Yeah, China will not make it easy to track them in their hacking. They're not going to be able to say, yeah, this packet, it definitely came from China. They're going to hide all of that information the best they can. And I'm going to tell you why they can hide it. Because their computer people, they spend more class time studying how to write programs, studying computer systems, and studying how to hack. They have an army or a division maybe of hackers out there, and they're doing what they can to learn, to practice, to hack into American systems. Now, the other thing about this is the American universities, they are woke.
Yep.
Okay. They are having their lunch eaten by the Chinese the Japanese, and anyone else, because they are teaching our computer science students all this crap about, critical race theory. So, but I do think the symposium was really, really flat. And the reason it is because people like me and other computer people, we want a symposium on cybersecurity to be boring. We want the facts to be out there.
Yep.
We want to hear people talking real slow and real academic about this problem. We don't want entertainment. And so that was one of the reasons why it was a kind of turnoff to people, because
Yep.
it may be exciting to someone that knows little about computer security, but to guys like me and guys, like my friends, we want something boring that will just make other people's eyes roll back in their head. And Mike Lindell, he presented something that was more entertaining than it was intellectual or academic. This should be a wake-up call. If you're going to go out there and talk about cybersecurity, it's best to have a symposium with people that know what they're talking about. I like Mike. He sells pillows. He sells great pillows, but he may not be the front man to talk about what happened in the 2020 election.
Absolutely. Steve Bannon wanted him to bring the receipts, right? He said he did a fantastic job of making the case. But, it comes a time, he says, he wants him to bring the receipts. He wanted them to do it a different way. He said, I would have did it a different way. I would have brought up all the evidence right up front and overwhelmed folks with the evidence. And he said, that's not what he got. Nobody there, in a sense, can even attest to, even if the information's correct. And that's, to me, a very, very, scary sign here. One of the things that I was saying, and you can attest to this, I said I didn't want him to go down this road. Remember, I said this. Yeah. I said that we would be better off, looking past this and trying to get our folks in there, maybe coming up with super PACs, ways that we can get our folks in there rather than languishing on this, because I didn't think it would go anywhere. And then on top of that, I said that the man was getting sued anyway, and it would, in my eyes, it looked bad. But, here we go. And in this, Anthony Allen, one of the last things here that was a real bummer was that these people, and like I said, I think it was the whole thing was a setup to try to make him look crazy. That's it. It was a setup to try to make him look crazy. You had the cyber guy wait, right? He knew that maybe the information wasn't, the real deal, or something was going on with it. He waited, Anthony Allen. He could have spoke up earlier. Yes. He was hired, but he waited, and then he ran. That to me right there is a setup. Number two, Anthony Allen. My goodness gracious, number two. Second day, while he's doing this symposium, a federal judge, strikes down his his defense in this $1.3 billion Dominion lawsuit case. Remember, his defense was, it's free speech and so forth, and it got shut down. And the judge claimed that Mike Lindell wanted the lawsuit, so he's granting it to him. So right now, it's a very, how can I say, peculiar time for him. And I'm disappointed and I'm scared at the same time. And the reason why I'm scared, disappointed, and a little bit upset is because he puts himself right now on the chopping block. A lot of people are somehow convinced that this world is basically what you know when it comes to courts, right? People believe that, hey, if you know all the evidence, you go and tell the court, they surely would look into it, right? They surely would do the right thing. And I want to get people out of what we call that naive thinking. This world, Anthony Allen, you know what the deal is with it, right? Cash is king, and it's who you know. Do you understand, ladies and gentlemen? It's who you know. Not what you can, quote unquote, what you know and what you can prove. It's who you know. And right now, the Dominion folks are in the know with these Luciferians and the elites. And I, myself, am scared because of what Lindell did with the symposium. And now they're saying that they want a full-on lawsuit. So now he has to come up with a defense that's different from what he put down. And if he's going to say, hey, I have these China packets, right? These are the same, they used the same guy who Sidney Powell used and she lost. It's the same guy who bringing out these packets. You go to court, Anthony Allen, you're following me, right?
Yep.
You go to court with the packets, right? You say, hey, I got the packets, right? I got the machine. I got this. I got that. They're going to come out and retort, well, your guy, your cyber expert, went and on the second day of your quote-unquote symposium and said that he didn't really have it, right? And then they'll go on and point out the precedents of other cases that got thrown down. Then they go ahead and go to the scared folks, Anthony. You follow me, right? The ones that are in different states and say, well, we don't see any fraud here. We don't see any fraud here. What do you think will happen to Lindell? Do you think he may need to, if that happens, do you think he may need to, settle? Will he lose his business? I'm scared about that. What do you think, Anthony Allen?
Yeah, we should be scared about that because he claimed that he had 37 terabytes.
A lot.
Data.
That is
uncountable. Yeah, so that's a whole world. Okay, so in that 37 terabytes should be everything that's needed to prove fraud. So I've done some analyzing on what comes out of China, and there's a lot of information that comes out of China. I see them in the logs of computer systems all the time, and they're always hacking. They're always using some sort of technique or some sort of tool to break into servers. And Mike Lindell may not be the front person for this. Had they had someone like Jovan Pulitzer, that would have really got my attention. But some of these guys that I saw, for lack of a better word, they were not as expert as I thought that they should be. And it seemed to me the symposium was more entertainment. It was more emotional. There was still graphics, not for information, but for emotional effect. And that's what I was looking at when I was watching as much as I could. I want information. I want them to be sober about what they're talking about. I want it to be boring, not entertaining. And this was entertaining, not boring. Computer people like boring. We want people's eyes to roll back in their heads whenever we start talking about something. And Mike Lindell, he is more of an emotional person. You need to get Jovan Pulitzer up there. Let him bore everyone to death except for the people that understand what he's talking about. But I do believe that there was some hacking, but the way that they're trying to present it is absolutely wrong. They can't present it this way.
Absolutely. And the thing is, Anthony Allen, we live in a different world. This is a way, in my eyes, a setup to destroy a good man. That's it. When you're being sued for $1.3 billion, and they actually let the lawsuit go forward, Anthony Allen. Think about what I'm saying here. He's gonna, if he doesn't have a defense that will win, right? And he tried it. He's gonna have to give up some ducats. He's gonna have to give up something.
Yeah, the whole business.
And he has it to give up. And I want people to understand. That's why I said it's more than what everybody's pushing out. Right? Everybody wanted him to go and do this. Now he's doing it to the detriment of his own self and the people that are working for him. And I want people to understand he has around 2,500 employees. If he goes to this lawsuit and loses and he has to give up some big cash, it's going to affect those employees. So I'm looking out at the long game when I see this, right? I'm not going with the emotion. I'm going with, ladies and gentlemen, logic. And when we have these liberals who are in these key positions, who are knocking down things that we've already put up, it's going to be a very hard and tall order. And remember, I told folks this would come down. You want to go down this machine route, it's not looking well. Everybody who has gone down this route has failed. And I'm letting you know, nobody has won down this machine route. Look at Owen and Fox News. All of them are running from this. It's a boondoggle that people need to step away from it because it's destroying a good man. And that's what I didn't want to happen. I'm upset about this. They're destroying a good man on national TV in this world, Anthony Allen, because he decided to go after this and somebody put him up to it. How come Trump wasn't there, Anthony Allen, before we move on? It's for him, right? He's fighting for him, right? How come he wasn't there to say, hey, I believe that the machine talk? How come he wasn't there before we move on?
He wasn't there because Trump is a very, very wise person.
There you go.
Surround himself with a failure. But once again, he's being put up to this, and it takes some deep experts to really help articulate what was taking place. And Mike Lindell is not that person. Okay, he's not that person to articulate that. Maybe Joe Van Pulitzer can do these kinds of things, but there has to be an eminent computer science guy, gal, that understands these things and can bore everyone to death. The very idea that Mike Lindell gets to talk about these things, that's going to be a problem, and we will have our butts handed to us if Mike Lindell doesn't stop.
And then on top of that, Anthony Allen, he going to make the prediction, August 13th, right? So gosh darn specific. August 13th, after I present this irrefutable evidence, Trump is going to be reelected. They're going to rush him back into office. When he starts talking like that, it put the crazy town in USA. Do you understand? Even liberals are like, gosh darn it. It brings the Q back into the effect. Ladies and gentlemen, wake up.
The Q effect, right. The Q effect.
That's why I said, stop it. Stop. You boomers, stop. Boomers out there. Stop it. I should have a boomer stick.
Man, oh man.
I've been putting my stick in boomers' rear ends for doing stuff like this. Shout out to Reggie Smith. He also is the one who got tricked into believing that, and when he was doing his little telethon, he believed that Donald Trump called him. He got tricked. A boomer who got tricked. He got to stay away from the internet. He does. Mike, I love ya. We got 6 pillows in the crib. Stay away from the internet. Moving forward, make sure you got to hit that like button. Make sure you share. Make sure you share. The folks who took the pillow money, they ain't going to tell you this. Moving forward, Anthony, I want to speak about Andrew Cuomo.
Yay!
Yeah, Mr. Cuomo. Mr. Cuomo speaks in this new interview right after his resignation. I want people to take a look at this. This came out on the 14th. Let me tell you something. A lot of people are talking about this. Here we go.
Disgraced and outgoing New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is now speaking out for the first time since he announced his resignation. Cuomo, who is leaving office in a matter of days, remains defiant. Here's ABC's Phil Lipoff from outside of the governor's New York City office.
Tonight, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo speaking out for the first time since announcing his resignation. In an interview with New York Magazine, Cuomo saying,
Let me go ahead and stop it here real quick. Mods, kick Faye Vital out, right? He probably gets on his knees for Trump too. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Anybody who is what I call ideal, how can I say? They get on their knees for idolatry, right? You can't see truth. Anytime somebody says something about somebody you love, it hurts your feelings, right? If you're that emotional, you can leave this stream right now. I'm not a fanboy. Never have, never will. If that is you, you're a fanboy, right? You're not going to like me. I like telling the truth. I'm not a cheerleader. I cheerlead for the truth, though. I certainly do. So if you're speaking to me like that, Lindell's a patriot. Lindell's a patriot. You're not a patriot. You need to leave. You're lucky I don't look at your profile and roast ya. Going for it. Sorry about that. These folks are crazy. Ridiculous.
And I feel like I did the right thing. I did the right thing for the state. It's a stunning fall from grace after a state attorney general's report found sexual harassment allegations against him credible. But even during his resignation announcement, Cuomo maintained that in his mind, he never crossed the line.
I have been too familiar with people. My sense of humor can be insensitive and off-putting. I do hug and kiss people casually, women and men. I have done it all my life.
And with New York lawmakers announcing they will suspend the impeachment investigation into the governor due to his resignation, Cuomo, who has just days left in office, tells the magazine he would win an impeachment case, and he would have made the state legislature look like a ship of fools. The Assembly Speaker says this evidence, we believe, could likely have resulted in articles of impeachment had he not resigned. The governor also told the magazine he saw just two options, option A and option B, but there could be an option C. According to campaign filings, the governor still has millions of dollars left in his campaign account. And if he's not convicted of a crime, Lindsay, he could run for office again.
Phil, thank you so much.
Wow.
Hi, everyone.
So, it looked like Andrew Cuomo, he may run for office again. I don't know if he's going to get convicted. What do you think? I don't think so.
I saw the whole press conference from beginning to end, and I was listening very carefully how he talked about these issues. All this idea that he didn't know that the culture is different, that's just how Italians behave. He didn't know, and if he offended anyone, he is so sorry. But Cuomo is a complete disaster. Not only does he have this ability to assault women out in public, he's like Joe Biden. Like he likes to fondle in public. That's part of Joe's thrill, and that's part of Cuomo's thrill. He's powerful. He can walk up to a woman and do those things too. And they are Democrats. Usually, the very thing Democrats accuse conservatives of, that's what the Democrats are doing. Whenever the Democrats point a finger at Republicans or conservatives, they have three fingers pointing back at themselves, and the thumb is pointing up toward the heavens, and God knows the truth about this situation. Cuomo is done. I think that he's going to have to deal with the nursing home cases and situations that will come up. People are suing him for the death of their loved ones in the nursing homes. He has some big problems. And I think he was told in no uncertain terms that they will go after him with a vengeance. This attorney general, she hates Trump, and she has to have some balance by going after Cuomo. And so Cuomo knows that he's in trouble. He's in trouble with the assaulting of the women, and he is in trouble with the nursing home. So in my humble opinion, I think Cuomo will just walk away quietly into the sunset and hope that he doesn't get called back out in a lawsuit for the nursing homes or the lawsuits regarding the assaulting of women.
Absolutely. You know, Andrew Cuomo, he's not sorry at all.
No.
He
just
not
got caught.
sorry at all. He just got caught. And I believe, I don't believe he did all these women here assaulted all. Maybe one or two who have maybe a genuine case here, but not all of these women. I've read a lot of these stories here. They're all bunk. They're all bunk and out of control. But Cuomo, he is a pervert, ladies and gentlemen. He is. And he doesn't do the right thing. So I do believe he maybe one or two, maybe. I don't know. But I know most of these women ain't telling the truth. And I'll put that on some money.
Yeah.
They are playing games. Cuomo, we will see. If he doesn't get convicted, if nothing happens, he will run again. He will. And maybe he run for senator this time. I have no idea. He was looking to run for president. Who knows, Anthony Allen, the way the world is. People forget very quickly. Very quickly. So it's a crazy thing, crazy world. Let's go ahead and move forward. I want to go ahead and speak about the census. The census came out, and it showed a lot of good information. One of the key details of the census is that the white race is declining in this country. Liberals are jumping up and down for joy. Let me tell you, they're jumping. I want to go ahead and run this clip here with Tucker Carlson, and when it comes back, I want to get your take on it. Tucker Carlson has a take on the census here. Here we go.
And then this week, the new census numbers came out. Here's what those numbers show. The number, not the proportion, but the absolute number of Americans who describe themselves as white has dropped for the first time in our history since the census began back in 1890. The total decline is around 5 million people. Now, that is huge. Experts who study demographics for a living were shocked by it. They'd never seen anything like this. Why did this happen? Where did all these people go and why? They're Americans, remember. Well, as leading Democrats put it again and again, who cares? Fewer white people in America is a great thing, and we should celebrate.
Right now, Stephen Miller and Donald Trump are at Mar-a-Lago, and they're throwing up because this is not the America they want to see.
I was at the White House the other day, and guess who's got Stephen Miller's old office? Her name is Susan Rice, and she's one of us. And guess who is in Ivanka Trump's old office? Julie Rodriguez.
Who?
She is Cesar Chavez's
I love Julie.
Granddaughter.
Did you hear that? Her name is Susan Rice. She's one of us. Meaning she's Democrat? No. It means she's not white. Us is the non-white people cheering the extinction of white people. That was on television. Think about that for a minute. It's hard to think about it, actually, because it's that evil. And if you wanted to encourage permanent racial division, maybe even violence in America, that is exactly how you would talk on television. These people are completely out of control. They are dangerous. And it's not just CNN analysts who are talking this way. By the way, once again, there is no more divisive thing that you could say on television. There's no way you could more quickly and more permanently wreck the country than to encourage people to gloat over the decline of a race. Seriously? Imagine any other race. People talking like that. It's nuts, actually. But again, members of Congress are talking that way, or even fake ones. Here's Eleanor Holmes Norton, who pretends to serve in Congress.
Look at where the population is, and that's how we win or have to try to win in the census numbers. because the population growth has been in the cities and in the suburbs among minorities. And that's what gives us some leverage.
Got that? Democrats win when we have fewer white people in the country. And that's why they're celebrating the new census number. She just said that out loud. You should never say anything like that out loud. But they are. At the Washington Post, columnist Jennifer Rubin joined the cheering. Fewer white people, she wrote, you can look it up, is, quote, fabulous news. Now we need to prevent minority white rule. Minority white rule. Do you recognize that phrase? Oh, South Africa. That's what she wants, South Africa. She said it. We didn't. We would never say something like that. But wait a second, you ask. What about the numbers? What happened to all those white people who are now missing from the census? Well, it turns out many of them perished in the opioid epidemic. Hundreds of thousands of young Americans, mostly from rural communities, dead from drug overdoses. A columnist from the Washington Post is cheering that. Their deaths are fabulous, she says. It's hard even to know how to respond to that. So we're going to pull back and let Pedro Gonzalez assess it. He's the associate editor at Chronicles Magazine. We're happy to have him join us now. Pedro, thanks so much.
Bow.
For coming
Let
on.
me go ahead and stop it right here. So,
tonight,
Anthony Allen, he went through his diatribe showing the numbers on the census here. And let me tell you something. It is really, really, really crazy right now. You see those black liberals and the Hispanic ones?
Mm-hmm.
They're jumping for joy. What do you think about this? They're glad that there's people like them, right? Like, hold on, like us.
Yeah.
Isn't it? What do you think?
Yeah, this is the result of the war on white people by media people pushed by black people. And I've talked about this, the browning of America, the white, the idea that they're going to just allow immigration of more and more, brown people in order to get rid of white people. This is exactly what they want to do. They want to create a communist socialist society by getting rid of strong character men, usually, white men. That's how they have to open up the floodgates in order to bring in socialism. And they're going to do it by making sure that they can brown America. This is part of the racism of liberals, the racism of Democrats, the racism of communists, the racism of the Democrat Party, to be frank about this, where the Democrats are talking about talking about black people. She is one of us.
Yep.
Because they always divide people into two categories, racists do, white people and everyone else. And that's the racism of the Democrat Party. And to hear them speak like this and not be roundly condemned, this shows how far down the path we are. They're saying the most racist things. If a white person were to say those kinds of things about black people, everyone would be up in arms. But these black elites in Congress, these, brown Hispanics, they can get away with saying the most racist things.
Yep.
These people are racist. They hate white people. I've had conversations with people who were just, it'll be okay when we all blend into one color. No, it won't be okay if we all blend into one color, because these white people, thank God for them, they are holding back the dam of preventing this country from going into socialism and communism. They are, Christian people, and these people, they hate these kinds of people. And so they want them gone, eliminated. And that's all this is, the war on white people.
Absolutely. It's the war on white people that you coined so well. Now, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at these three people of color, right? They call them people of color, right?
Yeah.
Of color. Now I ain't call them that. They call themselves this. These are the people of color who hate America, who hate white Americans. I want you white Americans to understand this. Majority of them do not like ya. I know that's a tough statement. I know, right? Majority don't like ya. They have that thought process. And guess what? You didn't do nothing to them. Right. You did nothing. Hold on. You did nothing. You did nothing to them. White Americans don't want you to understand that. These are the people of color who hate ya for simply being white. I want you to understand that. Simply being white. If you were in a position where you needed help, right? You were, let's say you were hanging off a cliff with one hand, and one of these people of color were passing by, they'd probably step on your hand and make sure you drop. That's how evil they are. These are the type of people of color, right? People like Charlemagne the God, right? DJ Envy on what's that stupid show? Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club.
Where they call white people mayo. You remember that, Anthony Allen, right? Mm-hmm. Mayonnaise, white devil, right on the TV there, right? White people ain't on TV say, hey, this is racist. No, you sit back, right down, and you complain to each other. I'm letting you guys know, the more you're quiet about this, the more they will take. And let me tell you something, it will be very hard to regain ground. Anthony Allen, last words on this here, sir.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Tucker Carlson, he is sounding the alarm. We've been sounding the alarm for a long, long time about the war on white people. You're exactly right. These racists that are in our government, they pretend as if they're civil rights leaders trying to be helpful, but these people, they hate white people. If you want to know further truth about this, black people can be the most racist people
through and through,
because they have an excuse for it called slavery. They will always rationalize that, and they rationalize it all the time. They grow up with it. They may be your friend, but I'm telling you, behind your back, these black people say the most rudest things, and guess what? Now they're able to say it in the open. And this is the war on white people. And I would, hopefully, our friends that happen to be whites, they will push back on this. They have to push back on this. Jermaine and I, we can do what we can. I'm telling you, you lovely white people out there that are not racist, you want this country to be one country for everyone, you have got to call your senators, your Congress people, and you have got to talk about this.
You have to, ladies and gentlemen, you have to, because these people will not stop. And I'm telling you, white folks, if you don't speak up now, it's going to be very, very hard later on. You see how hard it is right now, right? You didn't speak up before. You see how hard it is right now. Trust me, give it another couple of years, it'll be damn near impossible. Damn near impossible, ladies and gentlemen. The thing is, liberal blacks, liberal people of color, and I want white Americans to understand, they have bought into the culture, especially most black Americans, that white people are racist. America's inherently racist. And I want white Americans and good people of the world to understand this. I don't think most white folks know this. They don't like ya. They will smile in your face. They'll do whatever they can to push their agenda. And you find that out when it comes down to politics. Blacks are very vocal about how much they don't like America, about how much they believe it's racist. And when they speak in this manner, they're speaking about you white folks out there. And I want you to understand that. I want you to understand that. Look at the TV right now. Anthony Allen, we have 12% blacks on TV. You would swear it would be like 70% of the country's blacks if you look at our television stations, right? If you look at the commercials, you'll see people of color everywhere. Anthony Allen, it's the most craziest, bizarre thing I ever seen. Yeah, all these black faces, they're 12% of the population, while they're close to 50% of the commercials, Anthony Allen.
Yeah, that's the war there. They want to push white people out of every aspect, government, business, and they want to put people there that are probably not qualified.
Yep.
They are there because of their skin color, not because of their qualification. And that's the war on white people. And I'm telling my white friends out there, you have got to push back because they are coming for you every single day. They're doing it in the open now. It's open war on white people.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to my guy, Tony Abrahams. Shout out to you. Just donated, took the $5 challenge. Shout out to you. Absolutely. Helping the brother out, helping us pay some bills. Shout out to you. Moving forward here, brother, I would like to speak about former Attorney General Mr. Holder.
Good evening, everyone. We begin the readout tonight with a horror.
The readout. You know Joy Reid, she's an evil black woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she had Attorney General, former Attorney General Holder on there, and he spoke about Trump, and he also spoke about the census, and I want people to take a look at what he's saying here. Attorney General Holder, he is as evil as it comes. He's Obama's right-hand man. As a matter of fact, they play basketball together, Anthony Allen. Yeah, you better believe it. Eric Holder played basketball with long legs. Mac Daddy Obama. You better believe it. Ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button. Make sure you share. They claim to be the only administration that actually had a basketball team. This is what Obama claims, Anthony Allen. Here we go. A basketball team, and they screwed up America. Right? Negroes cared more about basketball than America. I understand. You're exactly right, Obama. You're exactly right. Here we go.
Attorney General under President Barack Obama and the chairman of the National Democratic Redistricting Committee. And General Holder, thank you so much for being here. You were just the person that I wanted to talk to in this moment when it does feel like our democracy is teetering on the brink of collapse. And I want to go back to start with this reinstatement thing. It's ridiculous, it's ludicrous, but it's also a national security threat. And I wonder if, as somebody who was Attorney General, you think that U.S. attorneys and the current DOJ is being aggressive enough in having some sort of consequence for pushing this big lie and these big lies that are actually potentially making people get violent?
Well, you know, the Justice Department clearly is investigating and prosecuting all the people who were involved on January the 6th. It seems to me that there probably needs to be a wider investigation to see how you tie what happened on January the 6th to what happened starting the day, I guess, of the election immediately thereafter. It seems to me these are part and parcel of the same things. As the revelations come out about the White House trying to influence the Justice Department, trying to get people at the Justice Department to say that the election results were fraudulent and use that as a basis to then use operatives in the states to, overturn the election results. This is something that I think calls for a pretty expansive view of, review of what happened. But here's the deal. I think in some ways the most important thing is for that congressional committee to look at all these things so that the information that they get can be shared with the American people and can be shared with history. Criminal investigations, a lot of it happens in grand juries. A lot of it doesn't get revealed to the public ever. And there has to be an accounting. Who was involved? What did they do? A prime question has to be, what did the president's men know? And what did they do?
Well, and we know that there is not a history in this country, unlike some countries, of prosecuting a former president. But this just seems like a sui generis case with Donald Trump. I mean, we know that Spiro Agnew, the former vice president, was prosecuted, but there hasn't really been a history of that. But right now, this former president, Donald Trump, there is a Georgia investigation that is ongoing right now into his call to overturn the election directly there in the state of Georgia. Georgian election officials opened that in February about that phone call in which he pressured the Secretary of State there to overturn the election. And I wonder if combining that fact that he is already under that criminal investigation and the fact that there is this January 6th commission that is looking at what could come out to be crimes. I mean, George Conway has come out and said there should be prosecution here. If you were still in a position to do so, would you be open to the idea that perhaps Donald Trump should be prosecuted?
Yeah, I certainly think that, everybody who was involved in that matter, and I mean, you can't cabinet and just think that January 6th is the only thing we need to be looking at. We've got to go back a couple of months. Everybody who was involved in that, everybody should be investigated and then potentially prosecuted. Now, prosecution of a former president involves a whole range of things that, goes that's a little different from, people
and let me
who
go
serve,
ahead and stop
below
it
him.
here.
There are
So
national interests,
we got
division.
a gist of Attorney General Holder, right? And I want people to look at this is the result of when we don't rein folks in. Look at what at the bottom of that screen, Anthony Allen. QAnon right wing predict Trump will be reinstated. The media is very adept at trying to make Republicans look crazy. We have Fox News. We have all the other media sources. How come we can't do it, Anthony Allen? You get what I'm saying? Look at what they're doing. That's Mike Lindell's statement right there. What do you think about this Attorney General Holder? He's saying that he needs to be looked into and prosecuted.
Holder is a beta boy from a long, long time ago. I remember following his career to be Attorney General, and they would interview him, and he was a whiner. He was someone that complained that when he was a senior, at Howard University, how some policemen stopped him and asked him some questions. He was accosted and made it feel really bad. But he's the top law enforcement officer, and he still tells these victim stories like he's a little child or something like that. But you know what? Eric Holder will not talk about Fast and Furious.
Nope.
Okay? It was a gun-running operation, okay? And a border patrolman was killed because of this. Okay?
Absolutely.
Eric Holder will not
to go
talk
to jail.
about the IRS targeting conservative groups. He failed to prosecute, what's her name? The lady that ran this thing. Okay, I'll find her name later. But they failed to prosecute the lady that ran the IRS targeting.
Scandal.
Conservative. He also tried to run a scam down there in Florida when Trayvon Martin was shot. Okay, he sent people down there to try to make a mess of things that was happening down there.
Yep, he did.
He also tried to be trouble when it came to Trayvon Martin. Okay, Eric Holder is another Obama racist.
He is.
He is not someone to be trusted. He is the top law enforcement officer, was, and guess what he does? He wants to sit there in the comfort of his home and incite riots. He is not going to get out there and riot. Okay, he's too good to get out there and protest. He's a beta boy. He's going to stay in his hunkered down basement, and what will he do? He will find a way to convince others to do his dirty work, to riot, to loot, to steal, to cause trouble. So no, I don't have any sort of love or affection for this man, because he reminds me of Lori Lightfoot. Someone that does not like white people, and he tries to
Janet Reno.
As if he does. He also had a law firm that was defending the terrorists in Guantanamo Bay. This is a man that he should not be in decent company, and conservatives should reject him wholeheartedly.
Wholeheartedly, let me tell you. Janet Reno's the person who you're looking for, Anthony Allen.
Yeah.
Was it was Janet
IRS
Reno,
lady.
right?
No, this was the IRS lady.
Oh.
What is her name? She ran the IRS, and they let her go, have a big old pension. Lois Lerner.
Okay, there you go, Lerner.
Yeah. They let her go, did not prosecute her.
Yep.
She got off the hook, got her pension, and she's living happily ever after.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to know about all the floating guns going around? You ask Eric Holder, Fast and Furious. Right? Gun running operation. They were making a boatloads of cash. Absolutely. Him, the DOJ, FBI. Don't let these people try to fool you. Talk about scandals. Right? Remember, Obama always used to say, we're the only administration with no scandals.
Yeah.
There were scandals through the roof. You better stop it.
Stop it.
Through the gosh darn roof. And then Joy Reid. Her sitting here with all this gosh darn yarn in her hair. Anthony Allen.
Show her picture.
She let me show the crowd here. Look like a walking, talking crochet. Look at her face. Anthony Allen. Gosh darn it. Look at all that gosh darn yarn. Ladies and gentlemen, we can make a whole bunch of quilts with this yarn in her hair. You know what I'm saying? How many blankets can we make, ladies and gentlemen? I'm thinking about 10 blankets. You get what I'm saying? Anthony Allen, I'm going to be making a blanket, maybe a coat, you know, maybe with the matching hat. You get what I'm saying?
There you go.
You know, all that yarn in her hair, she going to give up something. My goodness gracious. But besides that, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're talking about here. These liberals aren't going to tell you the truth. Eric Holder, he should be in some cell right now with all the nonsense and the scandals he was involved in. Just because the media is on your side doesn't mean that there were no scandals. I want people to understand this. Remember even this one, the other scandal when they had that one guy with the well, I'll speak about that here in a bit, but they had some sort of conference and he got caught speaking about if they go high, we hit them low or something like that. You remember that, right?
Oh yeah.
Saying that they got to play dirty.
Mm-hmm.
I want folks to understand these folks are game players. They absolutely are. So don't let them fool you, especially the one with all the yarn in her hair like this. All that yarn, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, Michael's, you know, the fabric store, Joanne Fabrics, ladies and gentlemen, they're looking for her right now. She done stole all the yarn. There's a yarn shortage here. There's a yarn shortage here, ladies and gentlemen, in America.
That's hilarious.
You know, Michael's and Joanne Fabrics. Gosh darn, they looking for her right now. You know, it's a hard world. It's a hard world. Gail Corporer says she could make 3 dresses with all that yarn. You could, right? Shoot, we could make, you know, jerseys for a whole basketball team with all that yarn there. You know what I'm saying? Yarn for days. Let's go ahead and move forward. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. I need your help. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to my guy, John Lennon. John Lennon hit that $10 challenge. Shout out to John Lennon here. Let me go ahead and put this out here. It says, can we get rid of Cuomo? No. He will run in 2022 while they drop the impeachment probe. It was all a sham. I know it was. Shout out to my guy, John Lennon. Shout out to you. Absolutely. And I want to go ahead and give a shout out to my girl, Kristen Walker. Shout out to you. Took the $5 challenge. Kristen is on its way with Chris Palin and Lauren Parsons. It's on its way, sweetheart. Out on Saturday. Shout out to you. Shout out to Chris Paulin too, brother. Thank you so much for getting me hooked up with Liberty Logan. Shout out to you as well, my Minnesota brother from another mother. Shout out to you. Moving forward here. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. I want to go ahead and speak about a video that got sent to me by a very good guy. Very good guy. Follows one of my friends, Ben Berquam. And let me tell you something. Ben Berquam is doing the Lord's work. Him and his wife had an accident a while ago, and it looks like him and his wife are doing very well. Shout out to him. We've been praying for you, and I'm glad that your wife is doing well. You're doing well too. Your child as well. God bless you guys. Absolutely. God bless Ben Berquam, because let me tell you, he's doing the Lord's work. He is. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to take a look at this video. Very shocking. All right. Biden administration is taking Haitians that are coming in from the border, right, around Del Rio, and dropping them, ladies and gentlemen, at gas stations and giving them tickets to leave. I kid you not. It hurts my heart to even show you this. Make sure you share. Share away. Share away. All right? Make sure you share. Here we go.
So we just got to the stripes over here. Noticed a big crowd of illegals over here. Just going to find out what their status is. How long ago did they get here?
10:40. DPS brought them here and dropped them off.
They brought them straight from there,
yes,
over here? So they're literally bringing them from the wall and just dropping them off here?
Yes, right.
Did they get any court date or anything like that to reappear?
Okay, so he has a document that Border Patrol gave him. So the valid, valid for 60 days. He's instructed to hand it over to whenever he sees another Border Patrol agent. That's their to get their process started for asylum seeking.
So he has to take that document
and present it at the Border Patrol.
And if he doesn't?
¿Qué pasa si no lo presentas?
We just got over here, just came back from the border and pulled up here to the stripes on Veterans Boulevard in Del Rio. And what we're being told is, this is crazy. They're giving them, come over here, out in there, they're giving them a document.
He's trying to go over there so he can show us the document.
Okay, he's gonna show us the document over here.
So he was instructed, they're being instructed not to show that document to anyone other than Border Patrol. So that's why he's calling us aside.
Okay.
To show it to us.
Appreciate it.
We just quickly report to the Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE officer near your final destination within 60 days or face removal from the United States.
So it's basically on them.
Yeah, so it's 60 days to report, and then they start their asylum process. Yeah.
And that can be anywhere in the country.
Wherever its final destination.
Were they doing any COVID testing?
Hicieron pruebas de COVID, o la vacuna de COVID. Nada de eso.
No vaccination?
Nada de eso.
Where's he going?
¿Qué es tu destino final?
Estoy en Orlando, Florida.
Orlando, Florida.
So that's what we're being told. They're literally bringing them the same day from the border, no COVID checks, no vaccines, dropping them off here at this stripes, because this is the stripes that Greyhound picks up at. They wait here for Greyhound. Otherwise, they're actually walking. I talked to another guy. They're walking to the airport and coming to a city near you. Thanks to Joe Biden.
All right. Anthony Allen, what do you think about this here, brother? Shout out to Yvonne Garrison. Yvonne, I got yours as well. Anthony Allen, what do you think?
Yeah, Joe Biden and VP Harris and the whole administration is a complete fraud. We don't have any southern border anymore. They are dropping off illegal aliens into our cities and taking them to bus stations. Yeah, it's a gas station, but it's a bus stop. Now, where are they getting this money from? Okay, and some of them even have plane tickets. Okay, so this is a whole operation that has a pipeline, and they are allowed to take them to a bus station, and of course they have a bus ticket, so therefore there's a destination that they're going to. I don't think they left Haiti with a destination. Somehow between the Border Patrol picking them up and taking them to the bus station, they already had the necessary traveling credentials, a bus ticket or a plane ticket. And of course, this is an absolute disgrace. We are paying for this with our taxpayers' money, and our border is completely open. And many, many people think that we are doing something to help people, but we're not doing this. There's no health screening whatsoever. We don't know whether they have COVID-19, a variant, the measles, chicken pox, whooping cough. There's no health screening whatsoever, and they're put on transportation across America. They're put on airplanes across America, and they're spreading whatever disease they have across America. And we need to stop this. And Obama was the beginning of this. Joe Biden is just extending it, and Harris is completely useless. And I think that there should be some lawsuits and impeachment because they are not enforcing federal law by allowing this to happen. Joe Biden has committed many, many impeachable offenses, and this is just one of them.
This situation here with Joe Biden, Americans are going to really, really reap what they sow with this.
Mm-hmm.
They are. Joe Biden does not care about you. He only cares about their mission, destroying America, balkanizing America. Yeah. They keep speaking about this here. And yeah, I'm sorry about that. They keep speaking about this here, ladies and gentlemen. And what's going on is that Joe Biden, when it comes down to a lot of this here, he's spreading COVID. They keep speaking about this Delta variant, and this Delta variant is spreading like wildfire. This is what they're saying. You heard what Ben Bergholm said. These guys aren't being vaccinated. None at all. They're just being taken from the border, given these papers, right? A little bit of some money, and they're dropped off at these bus stations. Very irresponsible. Last words.
Yeah, it is irresponsible. The uptick that we see that's being advertised of COVID-19, it comes from the illegal aliens with COVID-19. They are allowing into the country and spreading it across America on trains, buses, and planes. And even the people that are walking, you see. So this is highly irresponsible. This is a impeachable offense because they are not following federal law. And there has been a judgment made that the DHS, they have to go back to keeping these people in Mexico. So they lost that battle, but they're still in the pipeline, and we have to stop this pipeline and close the border. But I also want to say that there should be a moratorium on immigration for 10 years. I'm asking for a 10-year no immigration into America for 10 years, maybe even longer. But I think there should be a stoppage of immigration into America. Nobody gets in on immigration status anymore for 10 years.
Absolutely. 10 gosh darn years. That will definitely, and I want folks to understand, that will definitely solve a lot of the problems. Now, Anthony Allen, I want to go ahead, brother, and I want to show you this video that deals with the troops here in Biden. Let me tell you something. It's crazy. 5,000 troops being sent to Afghanistan. Well, actually, they were sent to Afghanistan to deal with the drawdown. Take a look at this. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you share.
More now on the major breaking news out of Afghanistan. A short time ago, President Biden issued a statement about the U.S. military mission. He writes, under advisement from his intelligence team, he's deploying 5,000 U.S. troops to Afghanistan to help get citizens out. He also goes on to say he inherited the situation from former President Trump. He says when Trump invited the Taliban to Camp David, it left them in the strongest position yet. Meantime, the country is on the brink of a complete Taliban takeover. Taliban fighters have captured much of northern, western, and southern Afghanistan in a breakneck offensive, less than 3 weeks before the U.S. is set to fully withdraw its last troops. Afghan troops are being overpowered, and Afghan civilians are flocking to Hamid Karzai International Airport in Kabul, trying to get out of the country as Taliban troops move closer to the capital by the hour. Today, Mazar-e Sharif, the last major northern city still under Afghan control, fell into Taliban hands after just 1 day of fighting. Criticism of U.S. policy is coming in from allies and within the U.S. Let's dive deeper into the situation with the help of NBC's Jonathan Allen and military contributor, retired Colonel Jack Jacobs. Thank you both for joining us. Jonathan, first I want to ask you about that statement we saw just in the last hour from the president pointing back at his predecessor for the blame in all this. What do you make of it?
Well, I think President Biden's in a tough spot here. He wanted to get out of Afghanistan, both on a policy level and politically, and he's watching what we're all watching here, which is devastating in terms of the Taliban retaking territory and presumably going to retake Kabul. And it sounds like what he wants to do is make sure there are enough troops there to ensure that Americans aren't killed and that allies of the United States aren't killed as we try to get them out of that country. On a political level, I'm not sure that it is sustainable for the United States to continue to have forces in Afghanistan. We saw President Barack Obama campaign on getting out of there. He didn't. We saw President Trump campaign on getting it out of Afghanistan. He made a deal to do it, but didn't do it. And now President Biden actually has ordered the withdrawal and now popping troops back in. The American public has spoken on this in elections, and they don't want Americans in Afghanistan.
And Colonel Jacobs, in the statement he just issued, the president noted the 5,000 troops he deployed. Is that sufficient to get Americans and everyone they need to get safely out of the country? Are you concerned at all that the Taliban may try to target any of these forces?
Well, first of all, you never have enough troops. There's no such thing as too many troops. My guess is that when the commander of the task force got on the ground in Afghanistan, he immediately went to the CENTCOM commander, who then went back to the Secretary of Defense and then the president, saying that there were not enough troops with the 3,000. Don't forget, some of them are support troops, and that he needed more people, thus more combat troops. And one should always be concerned that there's an insufficient number. With respect to the danger to the troops there, one interesting approach is to look at it this way. The Taliban have probably very little incentive to attack American troops while they are evacuating Americans from the embassy, and are likely to wait until they're all gone before they close in on Kabul. The principal reason for that is that once they attack sites in Kabul, they'll do so from fixed locations around Kabul, and that'll open up the Taliban to devastating air attacks from the United States and allies. So it's likely that they won't attack American troops as we're trying to evacuate the embassy, Joe.
There you go. So you see all the nonsense that's going on here, right? You see all of it. Biden, ladies and gentlemen, in the Middle East is screwing up. Now, Anthony Allen, I want to go ahead and show you guys this CNN clip. This CNN clip deals with Biden, and ladies and gentlemen, they are wondering where he's at. This is a historic moment, a big deal. Take a look.
Still no word from President Biden today. There are many who are asking, where's the president? When's he going to address the nation on this? Will he anytime soon?
Yeah, as of now, Fred, there are no indications that President Biden is going to address the nation on the situation unfolding in Afghanistan. Pretty remarkable at the fact that today, as of now, it appears that the Taliban have indeed entered Kabul, are in the presidential palace, and for all intents and purposes are in charge of the country. 20 years after a U.S.-led invasion ousted a Taliban government from power in Afghanistan. So the history and the moment that we are in today certainly would call for hearing from the President of the United States at some point. For now,
bow. So Anthony Allen, historic day for the Taliban. They've captured the capital. They got Kabul. They're in the embassy. They got their feet up, and Biden says, you know what? You know, we out of here. We out. What do you think?
I'm telling you, what these fine American soldiers took to accomplish in 20 years or 7,300 days, Joe Biden gave it all back to the Taliban in 90 hours, 3.75 days. That's how long it took to undo and unwind what took 20 years to do. Incompetence works very, very fast. And we see that Joe Biden, he is the master of incompetence. What took 20 years, it just takes Joe Biden 90 hours to undo. The Chinese are mocking America. I've seen a post where the Chinese, they are having a field day. We're cowards. We don't know what we're doing. And guess what Joe Biden is doing? He's hiding in his basement, blaming Trump for this whole affair. What a complete disaster. Even the president of Afghanistan had to flee for his life. Joe Biden and that administration that he supposedly runs is a complete disaster. There's nothing worse than the Joe Biden administration. Nothing at all. And one more point I do want to make is that Joe Biden, he has lost Afghanistan, and that was with the help of the black VP and also the help of the black Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin.
Yep.
So this idea that you got to have black people in these key positions, oh my gosh, what a complete disaster. Where you had the black Secretary of Defense allow Joe Biden and the wokeness to make them just run away with the tails between their legs. Didn't even put up a fight, just leave it be. What a disaster. Black folks, stop trying to get into positions because you're black. Have some kind of qualifications.
Absolutely. Have some qualifications. Just trying to get there because of black doesn't work. And it usually ends up really bad. That's why right now I think we need to get away from this affirmative action policies that are still around. Got to get away from them. Black folks can do whatever they want nowadays. They have the gumption. They have the smarts. They have the ability. You get what I'm saying? A lot of this is just outdated. It is. They need to get rid of it. Joe Biden is a national disgrace. A national disgrace, Anthony Allen.
Yes.
A national embarrassment.
Yes.
For us to leave. And Anthony Allen, the drawdown happened, what, 2 or 3 weeks ago? Anthony Allen, I'm talking breakneck speed. Ladies and gentlemen, when I say breakneck speed, soon as he announced the drawdown, Taliban must have said, you know what? Let me get off this couch.
Yep.
It's time for us to regain the country back. And they gained it back so quickly. That lets me know, Anthony Allen, that the country never ever wanted democracy at all.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Because if democracy was so good, and I want people to understand this, if it was so good, these people would have wanted it. They would have fought for it. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But they did not want it. And that should be a lesson to Americans of all political persuasion. It should be a lesson to you, right? The American ego, right? Yeah, it hurts now, right? that you brought it to some people who are living in the sand and they didn't want it. That should let you know something there. That these people, ladies and gentlemen, do not value our way of life and our way of thinking. That should let you know. And one of the main reasons why they don't is because of, look at our culture, right? We have drag queen story hour, right? We elect people who are mentally insane, right? We elect a man in a dress.
There you go.
Yeah. So when you bring that type of democracy, right, that type of freedom to their culture, they don't want it. And I don't blame them. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't. If you got to deal with the LGBTQ community destroying your family, you got to deal with the crazy feminists, you got to deal with all that. I understand why they don't want it. I understand. And folks have to recognize that too. That these folks across the world, a lot of them do not value our way of life and the way we look at the world. And a lot of times it's a shame on their end and it's a shame on our end. Last words on this here, sir.
Yeah, my last words, Trump did address Joe Biden when Joe Biden blamed him for Afghanistan. And this is what Trump said. He said that what a disgrace it will be when the Taliban raises their flag over Americans' embassy in Kabul. Trump said, this is a complete failure through weakness, incompetence, and total strategic incoherence. And that capitalizes what Joe Biden is about: weakness, incompetence, and strategic incoherence. So, yeah, but your closing statement is very, very well, because we know for a fact that these people in Afghanistan, they didn't even put up a fight. $1 trillion spent, all that training spent in their army, and their army did not even fight back.
There you go. And that's why I wanted people to understand that the U.S., our news companies, they're not going to tell you this. They're not going to break it down to you like this. That they didn't want our democracy. They didn't want our way of living, our way of thinking. You understand? They didn't want it. And that should get people asking the question, well, why? Right? You would say, with all the freedoms we have in America, why would another culture that is, how could I say, underdeveloped, right? They're living in sand and huts. They didn't want it. That's shocking to me, right? That's like Anthony Allen. That's like aliens coming from a different universe, right? Technology and everything. Mm-hmm. They come in, see some hominids on the land. They come and drop their ship. They're showing them all the technology, right? They're showing them all the good things that are in their future, that are in their, world. And the hominids look at it and they throw it away. They don't even want it.
Right.
That's exactly how it is. So there's an issue that is there, ladies and gentlemen, and Americans need to figure out what that issue is. And in my eyes, it comes down to the culture. They didn't want the culture. We spent so much money in Afghanistan. We lost so much life, and we have nothing in return. Nothing. Trillions gone. Anthony, gone. Gone. The Afghans didn't fight. The people that were there that we protected, you know what they did once we left? Hey, Taliban, come on in. Yeah, them crusty Americans left. Yeah, the ones that were sitting here and we had to act like we liked them and stuff. Yeah. That's exactly what happened, ladies and gentlemen. So it's a blunder on our end for not recognizing what it was. And it's Biden's national disgrace. Biden should be hanged by this. Every Republican on this side of heaven, every time they speak, they should be hanging Biden by this.
Yes.
That he has allowed Kabul to fall. And in my eyes, we shall let it fall. We should not go there anymore. Anybody who's running this game, well, it's going to be a terrorist launch point. Let me tell you something. Iran's a terrorist launch point. There's so many other ones, right? Because Kazakhstan is a terrorist launch point. Parts of India are terrorist launch points. Lebanon is a terrorist launch point. You don't hear them speaking about them. My goodness gracious, Anthony Allen, brother pal.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for coming on in here.
I love coming on, man. Thank you for having me, brother.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming on in here, hanging out with us. Let me tell you something. It's a crazy world. And people are focusing too much on Afghanistan. We got Lebanon. We got so many other countries. There are terrorist launch points. Don't let these politicians play ya. Don't ya? Don't ya, don't ya, don't ya. Anthony Allen, you know we got so many terrorist launch points. Guys, America right now probably a terrorist launch point. You get what I'm saying? It's craziness in a crazy world. And what can I say? It's something that we live in. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for coming on in here, hanging out with me and Anthony Allen. We sure do appreciate it. I will be on tomorrow, same time at, well, not same, same time as usual. I'll be on at 7 o'clock, giving you guys the good word. Make sure you guys find us here, all right? I'm going to be dropping some videos here as well. And also putting out our new YouTube as well, our backup and our other one. So that's what I shall be doing. I'll be in the studio here for a little bit as well. Anthony Allen, brother, thank you so much for coming on in here once more again. The crowd definitely loved you. Any last words before we depart?
Yeah, my last words during this time is to stay together, stick together. That's what we have to do. Do not let these crazy Marxist, communist, liberal Democrats divide us. We are Americans, regardless of our skin color. We are Americans. Do not allow these people to divide you from your brother and your sister because of skin color.
Absolutely. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we commune by logic, not by color.
Yeah, exactly.
That simple.
Well said, brother.
You guys take care. Have a good night. See you later. Peace. Love you. Bye-bye.